Luke chapter 8, verses 26 to 40, it lets us know Jesus casts out demons in Gadara. When you read verses 26 to 40 of Luke chapter 8, it lets us know that a man was among the tombs and he was possessed with many devils. But Jesus came for this one man who was a seed of Abraham. In another gospel, it lets us know that there were two men that was possessed. But Luke focuses on one of the men. And as you read the word of God, it lets us know that he was tormented by the demons that possessed him. The word of God lets us know that oftentimes the spirit caught him and he was kept bound with chains and in fetters. And he brake the bands and was driven of the devil into the wilderness. The word of God also lets us know that he was naked. Verse 27, it says, and when he went forth to land, there met him out of the city a certain man, which had devils long time, and wear no clothes, neither abode in any house but in the tombs. And when he saw Jesus, he cried out and fell down before him, and with a loud voice said, what have I to do with thee, Jesus, thou Son of God Most High? I beseech thee, torment me not. For he commanded the unclean spirit to come out of the man. And I was reading it, as I've said just now, for oftentimes it had caught him, and he was kept bound with chains and in fetters. And he brake the bands and was driven of the devil into the wilderness. And Jesus asked him, saying, what is thy name? And he said, Legion, because many devils were entered into him. I covered this in one of the gospel, that a legion consists of 6,000, I believe 6,000 Roman soldiers. So this man was possessed with a lot of devils. And they besought him that he would not command them to go out into the deep, but that they enter into the swine. And the Lord, in his mercy, because he's God incarnate, grant their wish. I was feeding on the mountain. And when the devils went out of the man into the swine, the word of God lets us know that the herd ran violently down a steep place into the lake and were choked. And they that fed them were amazed at what took place, and went and told it in the city what occurred. They came back and found a man sitting at the feet of Jesus in his right mind, and clothed and in his right mind. So he was no longer naked, but he was in his right mind. And as you read the word of God, lets us know, they also which saw it told them by what means he that was possessed of the devils was healed. Verse 37 lets us know that the whole multitude of the country of the Gadarenes round about besought him to depart. They asked Jesus to depart because they were in great fear. And he went up into the ship and returned back again. But the young man, the man that Jesus healed that was among the tombs possessed with the devils wanted to go back with Jesus, but Jesus responded in verse 39, return to thine own house and show how great things God had done unto thee. And he went his way and published throughout the whole city how great things Jesus had done unto him. And it came to pass that when Jesus was returned, the people gladly received him, for they were all waiting for him. So, verses 26 to 40, as I've said oftentimes, we can look into the word and we can apply to today's life. We can apply it to ourselves. This man, we know, had no control of what was happening to him because he was tormented night and day. The Word of God lets us know that. I believe every gospel, the book of Matthew talks about it. You get to the book of Mark, it also talks about the man among the tomb. And in the Gospel of Luke, we're reading about the story of the man among the tomb whom Jesus healed and put in his right frame of mind. And we know that even the devils are subject to Jesus Christ. They knew who he was. As the question was asked, art thou come to torment us? We know who you are. The devils knew who Jesus was. But Jesus came to set the captives free, as the Word of God so tells us. He came to liberate sinners. Many people that were possessed, the Word of God lets us know, possessed with unclean spirits, he cast them out. And they were made subject to Jesus Christ. They knew who he was. Sometimes the Lord had to speak and say, hold your peace. Because the very devil spoke, the spirits they spoke. They spoke through the person that they were possessed. Because the spirit by themselves cannot do anything. It has to be in a body to actually be able to work. But thank God, Jesus declared that greater is he that is in us than he that is in the world. And no matter what state we may find ourselves in, Jesus is the same yesterday, today, and forevermore. As long as we trust in him and look to him and believe in his name, believe in his word, there's nothing too hard for God. There's nothing that God cannot do. He has the power to cast out devils. He has the power to heal us. He has the power to cause the lame to walk, the dumb to talk, to open the eyes of the blind, to raise the dead. He has all power. When he rose from the grave, he said, all power is given unto me in heaven and in earth. But while he was here doing his ministry, so many wonderful things Jesus did, that the Word of God tells us that if books were written, the world could not contain the books, because he did so many wonderful works. As I've said oftentimes, everywhere that he went, he was doing good, making people's lives better, not bitter, but better, because he's declared, I came not to condemn the world, but I came that the world through me might have life. And Jesus Christ can put us in a right frame of mind. Some of us get sick. We have mental sickness, emotional sickness, all forms of sickness. But remember that the Lord our God, he's a healer. He's able to do exceedingly abundantly more we can ever ask or think. So Jesus Christ is just amazing. He was God